In the modern culinary world, the broad bean, better known as the fava bean, Vicia faba, is often treated as a gourmet delicacy. But in biblical times, this hearty legume was far more than a side dish. It was a primary source of life-sustaining protein. Cultivated in the land of Israel since the Neolithic period, broad beans were a cornerstone of the ancient diet, providing strength to commoners, soldiers, and kings alike. The fava bean makes its most notable appearance during a moment of high drama in the life of King David. While David was fleeing from his son Absalom, loyal supporters brought essential provisions to sustain his weary troops in the wilderness. 2 Samuel chapter 17, verse 28 records that they brought bedding, bowls, and articles of pottery, as well as wheat and barley, flour and roasted grain, beans and lentils. These beans are identified by historians and archaeologists as the broad or fava bean. Fava beans were so essential that they even became part of a divine recipe for survival. In Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 9, God instructs the prophet, "Take wheat and barley, beans and lentils, millet and spelt, put them in a storage jar, and use them to make bread for yourself." In this context, the beans were likely dried and ground into a coarse flour to supplement the grain, creating a nutritionally complete survival loaf during times of extreme hardship. Who ate the broad bean? In the biblical social hierarchy, meat was a rare luxury reserved for festivals, sacrificial feasts, or the wealthy. For the ordinary ancient Israelite, the daily diet was overwhelmingly vegetarian. Consequently, broad beans and other legumes were the main source of protein. By the Roman period, legumes were so central to the household that they were listed as a mandatory part of the wife's food basket in the Mishnah. It is estimated that legumes like the broad bean provided approximately 17% of a person's daily calories at that time. Ancient cooks were resourceful with the broad bean. Stews and soups. Fresh or dried beans were boiled in a common pot, often seasoned with onions, garlic, and leeks for flavor. As seen in Ezekiel's recipe, they were ground into flour to stretch more expensive wheat or barley supplies. Roasted grain or kali. Fresh legumes were sometimes roasted or parched over fire, creating a portable, high-protein snack for travelers and harvesters. Byzantine staples. In later centuries, broad beans, known as ful, continued to be a staple, often cooked with meat and seasonal vegetables, like artichokes, in high-status meals. The ancient Israelite diet was remarkably functional. Broad beans provided. Winter legumes offered between 330 and 410 calories per 100 grams. They are a powerhouse of starch, protein, B vitamins, and dietary fiber. They provided a critical supply of iron, magnesium, and zinc, vital for a population that relied on plant-based foods for up to 70% of their daily energy. How does the fava bean of the Bible compare to what we find in modern grocery stores? Ancient farmers in the Galilee might harvest only 30 to 120 kilograms per dunam. Modern agricultural technology has pushed those yields to 350 kilograms or more. Ancient consumers often ate the whole bean, including the skin, either fresh or dried. Today, many recipes call for laboriously double-shucking the bean to reach the bright green interior. Ancient farmers understood that beans were field improvers. While some crops scorched the earth, legumes like the broad bean were used in crop rotation to restore fertility to the soil for future wheat harvests. The broad bean is a testament to the resourcefulness and resilience of the biblical world. It was a humble food that God used to sustain a king in exile and a prophet in siege. It reminds us that God's provision is often found in the simplest, most grounded parts of creation. As Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 9 promises, the land of Israel was a place where bread will not be scarce and you will lack nothing. Whether as a stew in a commoner's bowl or as flour in Ezekiel's jar, the broad bean was a vital gift that sustained the heart of a nation. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into the archaeology and foods of the Bible.